Hello, greetings, Chuckadelphia. I am here to tell you first and foremost that cats do not believe in social distancing. So I am stuck here with Dante. And tonight I wanted to talk to you about the word even and some of its expressions that it is used with. Okay? So sit back, relax, and come along with me and Dante as we go along in this journey. Okay? So here we go. Well, first and foremost, we use even to express a shocking or surprising example to support a strong statement. Okay? So, for example, Harry loses everything. He even lost his car once. Okay? So here, I'm trying to make an exaggeration or a strong statement, a shocking statement to support the previous sentence. Okay? And notice how we put even before the main verb there, even lost. Okay? Now, Frank has trouble remembering things. He even forgets his own wife's name. Okay, now some of you may be saying, well, that's not so surprising. I forget my wife's name all the time. Or maybe you're married to a husband and you say, hey, my husband forgets my name all the time too. Okay, but for the most part, this is going to be a surprising statement, a shocking statement. And it's used to express, it's used to support the previous sentence. Okay, here's another one. Okay. You can be anything you want. You can even be a professional baseball player. Okay. It's a surprising sentence because it's really hard to be a baseball player. But it's trying to say that, like, no matter how hard you work, it's possible. Okay. So sometimes we also use even with if, when, or though to express something that is unexpected, an unexpected result. Okay. In other words, if I say, I am wearing a heavy coat because it is cold, okay, you would expect me to wear a heavy coat if it's cold, right? So that's an obvious cause and effect. Now, if I say, even though it is freezing out, Marcelo is wearing a bikini, that's kind of unexpected. And therefore, even though is better to use instead of because it's unexpected, right? So, when we use even though, we use it to show a result that is unexpected, right? It also may show surprise in relation to something that is always done or often done. Okay, so if I say, Barbara is never happy. Even though you do things her way, she is not satisfied. You would figure that if you always do something uh, that someone wants done, they would be happy with that. But this is unexpected that she's not satisfied. Okay, so we use even though because you often do everything Barbara's way, but she is still dissatisfied. It's unexpected, right? Okay, now we use even when with a similar concept. Okay, except even when is talking about when sometimes something will sometimes happen as an unexpected result. Okay? So if I say here, Barbara is never happy. Even when you do things her way, she is not satisfied. So it means something similar to even though, except it's sometimes. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes. Okay? So it's a little less often. All right? Now, even if is very similar, except it will rarely happen, and also perhaps something that is imagined, okay, based on your knowledge of a situation. All right, so Barbara is never happy. Even if you do things her way, she is not satisfied. So, this basically says that you have tried Barbara's way once or twice, but it doesn't matter because she is still dissatisfied. So, it doesn't matter. That's a pretty cool expression because even if is often used to express even if nothing happens, no matter what, something is still going to happen. Okay? So, if we look at some examples, it's important to remember that these things, while they are similar and they all use even, they do not always mean the same thing. They're not always interchangeable. Okay? So, if I say, even though Rudy studied hard, he still failed his physics tests. Okay? This means he studied often, he studied hard, but he still failed his physics tests, right? If I say, Even when Rudy studied hard, he still failed his physics tests, right? So this means he sometimes studied hard, but it doesn't matter because he still failed his physics tests, okay? And then finally, even if Rudy studied hard, he still failed his physics tests. Now, this means that he studied like once or twice, very rarely, and still he failed his physics tests. So you see how similar they are? They're very close in meaning, but they're not always interchangeable, okay? Now, here's another example with just even. Rudy failed everything in school. He would even fail lunch if that were a class. Okay? So there, we're using an exaggeration to try to be funny. Okay? Now, let's take a look at some sentences here, right? Even though the interview went poorly yesterday, Gina got the job. This is correct, okay? This could be an unexpected result from a situation, okay? The interview didn't go well, but she got the job, okay? This is similar to my first example. Even though it's cold outside, Marcelo is wearing a bikini. It's an unexpected situation, right? Now, if I say, even when the interview went poorly yesterday, Gina got the job. This is incorrect because there was only one interview. There weren't multiple interviews. So here, even when wouldn't really work, okay? If I say, even if the interview went poorly yesterday, Gina got the job. Now, maybe I didn't even talk to Gina since she had the interview, but I can imagine, knowing that I understand Gina and what she is, based on my information, I can imagine that she got the interview no matter what. Even if it was a bad interview, no matter what, she still got the job. You understand? Okay? And these, okay? Even though Ted wins the lottery jackpot, he won't have enough to pay off his student debts, student loans. Now, here, this doesn't work because it's not like Ted regularly often wins the lottery. That's not possible, right? And even here, even when Ted wins the lottery jackpot, he won't have enough to pay off his student loans. No, that doesn't work because people don't sometimes win the lottery jackpot, okay? But if I say even if Ted wins the lottery jackpot, he won't have enough to pay off his student loans. This is a possibility. This is saying, okay, even if this happens once, even if it happens once, okay, he won't have enough to pay off his student loans. Now, this is an imagined situation, and this is a possibility that we can use with even if. And I'm trying to say that no matter what, Ted will not be able to pay off his student loans. Okay? So, there's another expression, even so. And this means still or however. Okay? So, Jessica is tall and beautiful. Even so, I think it will be hard for her to become a professional model. Okay? That's like saying, however, I think it will be hard for her to become a professional model. Right? Not many citizens like it when a casino is built in their city. Even so, they have a possibility of making a lot of money off of tourists. Now, notice that here, even so, has a comma here. That's because it's a transition. So, since it means the same as however, we can punctuate it like we would however and use even so. Okay? So, that is it for tonight. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you coming in and hanging out with Dante and me. And I always want you to keep in mind that you don't need a classroom in order to learn. The world is your classroom. And with all the craziness that's going on in the world right now, I truly hope that you and your family and your loved ones, your friends, everybody is safe and well, and you look after each other. Okay? This is Chuck coming to you from Chuckadelphia. Thank you again. I appreciate it. Have a great night and carpe diem. And as always, ciao, ciao.